My name is Tony Spurlock. I'm the Sheriff of Douglas County, and I am very sorry to have to come to you at this. I will tell you that I have Chief Matt Packer of the Colorado State Patrol and Special Agent in charge of the FBI, Dean Phillips, working with us, and I'll talk to you a little bit about how they are helping us. I also have my Board of County Commissioners here and representatives that represent the citizens of Douglas County here as well to help. This is what we know at this point. We know that two individuals walked into the STEM school, got deep inside the school, and engaged students in two separate locations. There were a number of students that were shot and injured. About almost immediately as the first gunshots were fired, the school notified the dispatch center through our communications center that there was a shooting at the school. About 2 minutes later, first deputies arrived and engaged the suspects. We currently have two suspects in custody. I'm not releasing their names at this point. We're verifying their age. We believe we have one adult male and one juvenile male at this point. That I'm not going to release anything else until we can positively identify that. We do have 8 students that are in area hospitals right now. Several of them are in critical condition. We are working, and we believe at this point that we have unified their family members with those students. We have one other student that has not yet been unified that we know of at this point with the family members. So we are again not releasing any of their names, obviously. We are working on getting all of the children reunified with their parents. It's at a local rec center right over here off of Broadway. We know that there are 1,800 kids that go to that school, and we are frantically trying to identify every one of those and making sure that we can connect them to their parents. That's going to take a little bit of time. The crime scene, on the interior crime scene, is going to be managed by the FBI's crime scene unit. I do have members of the ATF and Department of Homeland Security over there as well, assisting us at a number of things. We do have a suspect vehicle that is being contained in the parking lot. We're working with the District Attorney of the 18th Judicial District on search warrants on both the suspects' houses and that vehicle at this point. We're slowing everything down right now. We do know that we do not have any other suspects. We have all the people that are involved. So we're slowing everything down, and we're going to try to focus on processing that crime scene, taking care of those who are injured, and investigating this case at this point in conjunction with my partner standing behind me in the District Attorney's office on where we're going to go with charges. That's a quick overview. I'll take a couple questions, and we'll see what we can do to help you.
Were the suspects students?
Both of the suspects, we believe, are students of the STEM school.
Are they among the injured?
They are not injured.
There was initial reports of some sort of struggle early on. Can you talk about what happened? Were there some sort of struggle early on with this?
Yes. Well, I can tell you that there was shots fired. Our officers went in and we engaged the suspects. So that might be some of that information. And then we did struggle with the suspects to take them into custody, and they are in custody right now.
Did it happen in the high school or middle school?
This is a STEM school that goes up to senior.
Where did the incident happen?
It's at a STEM school.
The high school?
It's the high school. I'm sorry.
Sheriff, personally, how would you describe this day, the Douglas County community, and what's your message to parents?
Well, I can tell you that right now, to the parents, we are going to do everything we can to investigate this to determine what happened. We are working very closely with the STEM school and the Douglas County School District on that process. This is a terrible event. This is something that no one wants to have happen in their community. We're going to investigate that, and we will get to the bottom of it to figure out how and and what has occurred. Because we are likely to have a criminal prosecution in this case, there's not going to be a lot of information that is going to be shared about the details of those issues. We are working very closely with the district attorney, and what I can tell you right now is that we're not going to share a lot of that information because it will be prudent for a prosecution later down the road.
You said that your deputies arrived 2 minutes after that call was placed by the school. How did that quick response affect kind of where we are right now?
I have to believe that the quick response of the officers that got inside that school helped save lives. We're very early on in this. I have yet to even meet with those officers to talk to them to see how they're doing. But I do know that a quick response eliminates a lot of this issue right off the bat. And so I want to think that that is something that helped.
Was there any sort of indication, coordination, sophistication with this type of an attack inside the school?
There's no evidence right now that I can share with you about any of the methodology of the suspects.
Did you guys know these folks? Did you know them before?
We had no further information about those suspects, and we did not have them on any radar that we know of.
How did the struggle play out? What you can tell us in terms of if shots weren't fired at the suspects from your deputies, I mean, how were they able to get them under control?
That I do not have the particular details. I just know that my officers engaged them, and we had them in custody. I don't know where they were taken into custody at the school, at what room or whatever, and the FBI will help us determine some of that with the interviews of the officers in the crime scene.
What kind of weapons did they use, sir? Just characterize.
At this point right now, the only thing that we know of right now from one interview is that we have a handgun. Other than that, I cannot tell you any other weapons.
Sheriff, we heard that there was a specific teacher that was targeted. Is that true?
We have no information about anyone being targeted at the hospital or at the school that was involved as an employee or a teacher.
Any indication about the reason behind this? I know it's still early in the investigation, but why they were...
No, we have no information about why we're too early on in the investigation.
Is there a school resource officer assigned to the school?
There is not a school resource officer assigned to that school. They have a private security at that school, but no SRO at that school.
Were all the injured students, or were there staff members or teachers included in them?
No staff members or teachers that I know of that were injured. All of the injured were students.
Do you know current students, the suspects? Because you said adult and juvenile. I know that there's a wide range of students at the school, but...
We believe that both of the suspects were and are students at the STEM school.
You said they engaged the students in 2 separate locations inside the school. Do you know, was it like specifically like a library or classrooms? Can you talk about 2 locations you mentioned?
They were just classrooms. Nothing specific about those classrooms.
Did students, were they confronted by other students at the school in addition to your deputies, or do you have any additional information about it?
I only know about one interview of one student. The other ones have not been interviewed because they immediately went into medical, and so I can't answer that question specifically, but I do know that there was one student that gave us an interview, but I'm not going to release that information at this point right now because it's critical to the investigation.
Was there
related to each other?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Was there an exchange of gunfire inside the school with your deputies?
That is still under investigation at this point. Like I said, I haven't spoke to them. I have a chief that's investigating that portion of it with the district attorney, and we'll be able to get that information to you probably at a later time.
How old are the injured students?
The injured students are from 15 and up. I don't know the specifics of all of them. I can't tell you male, female, or whatever at this point.
All right, 2 more questions.
And how serious are the injuries?
We have students that are at one hospital that are in critical condition, and some of them are in surgery right now. We have some of them that are in stable condition at other hospitals.
Do you have a range of injuries, where they were shot or anything like that?
I do not have that available.
Is there any chance that there's anybody still left in the school?
No, we confirmed that there's no other suspect in the school. At this point, we have secured the environment.
What more fatalities or injured people left?
We're not sharing any information about that at this point until we have reunified all of the students with their parents.
All right, thank you very much. All right, guys, once we get any more information, we will send out anything that is releasable. Again, can't stress enough that it's still an active
You have been listening to the live briefing there from Sheriff Tony Spurlock, Douglas County Sheriff's Office there, giving us an update finally on what has been taking place out there at the STEM School of Highlands Ranch. Quick